Hello everyone. In this video, we will talk about Azure physical infrastructure. Like any other data center which is being operated, owned by any small, medium, or large enterprises. Azure also has to build their data centers. So there will be some basic entities for any data center which is required. So if I have a data center for any small data center in this example, if I take the data center, I need a space or location. I need to choose a proper location for my data center. I need a location where I can place all my servers, all my storage and networking devices. So in the data center, we have racks of servers and storage devices, networking devices, cables and connectors, power supply, cooling. So these are the hardware which I require for any data center to operate. Either it can be small data center, medium data center, or large data center. If it is a small data center, then the space, location, and the number of servers, the storage capacity, the networking devices, cables and connectors, these might be less compared to medium and large enterprise. So basically we use servers for our workloads. It can be infrastructure workload, business workload, and management workload. I will write it again. I will delete and write it again. So basically, we have business workloads, infrastructure workload, and management workloads. So all your management workloads will go here. The management tools basically will go into the management workload. Infrastructure services like Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, all these services fall under the infrastructure workload. For business workload, any critical business services related to the business, it can be web application, it can be integration with the vendors. All these applications, load balancer, caching, databases, all these services is critical for the business to run. So these are the types of workload what we host on the servers. Storage is for storing data. For small businesses, it will be under terabyte. It might be some 500. It will be within 500 to 1000 terabytes. Or we can take approximately around 1 petabyte. For the medium and large data centers, the number of storage devices can go up. It can be in petabytes. Also, it can be in exabytes for enterprise. And also the networking devices, what you use for the interconnection. The networking is basically to interconnect your workloads. And cables and connectors, anyway, you need to connect your servers, storage and networking. So you require cables and connectors. Power supply and cooling. To drive the hardware devices, we need the power, and to cool the hardware devices, we require the air conditioning or cooling. So this is the basic requirement for any data center. Only difference is if the company is very large and the company is medium to large, the numbers of servers may go up. Storage, it will be petabyte to exabytes. And networking, we require multiple layers of networking. This is for the redundancy purpose. And cables and connectors, depending on the number of hardware devices what we are using, depending on that, we require cables and connectors. Again, for power and cooling, to manage the power of the data center, to maintain the cooling based on the data center location. So if it comes to medium and large enterprise, for the small data center, what we add data center in one particular location. This we can call it as DC1, location 1. For medium and large data center, there might be another data center for high availability. So they have similar kind of setup. So it is basically a copy of the data center in another location, which will be in location number 2. For example, if I take Pune as the data center and Hinjawadi as the location, there will be another location in Mumbai. So this is to avoid if there is any outage of the data center in location number 1, there will be another data center which is always available, so that all the services, whatever you have deployed, the workload which is related to the business infrastructure and management, everything will be up and running here. So that is why medium and large organization have multiple data centers and the data will be replicated. They have the data replicated between these two data centers. So this is how the small, medium and large enterprise operate their data center and they set up their data center.